Good evening and welcome to State of Business on Art Television. I'm Tamiru Nimsat. Let's have a look at the headlines. President seeks to enter a free trade agreement with Bangladesh. Any future government will have to adhere to the IMF deal, Transport Minister says. News in detail. President Ranil Wickremesinghe, who was in New Delhi, met with Indian Senior Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar to discuss the swift resumption of halted development projects in Sri Lanka funded by Indian investments. He also met with the Bangladeshi Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, discussing the potential for a free trade agreement between Bangladesh and Sri Lanka and the initiation of a passenger ferry service between the two countries. Dr. Jaishankar expressed his intent to visit Sri Lanka soon to oversee the progress of these development projects and to coordinate Prime Minister Narendra Modi's upcoming visit. This initiative is part of India's Neighbourhood First policy, with plans for an industrial zone in Trincomalee that is expected to attract numerous Indian and international investors. President Wickremesinghe highlighted the new Economic Transformation Act, which will devolve powers in agriculture, health, education and economic management to provincial councils. Prime Minister Hasina assured her country's commitment to support Sri Lanka's agricultural modernization program. President Wickremesinghe affirmed his commitment to dispatch a delegation of Sri Lankan agricultural experts to Bangladesh to study the agricultural modernization methods. Cabinet spokesman and Minister Bandula Gunawardena announced that future Sri Lankan governments will have to adhere to the deal made with International Monetary Fund, which will be in place until at least 2028. During a media briefing in Colombo recently, Gunawardena emphasized the importance of adhering to the IMF loan agreements when drafting the 2025 budget. Minister Gunawardena highlighted the necessity of securing $5,018 million to cover international transactions, a critical step for any future government. Gunawardena further stated that foreign debt restructuring could provide loan relief of $3,655 million, emphasizing the importance of sticking to President Wickremesinghe's agreements. He also highlighted that by following the IMF plan, Sri Lanka could re-enter international capital markets by 2027, provided foreign exchange reserves reach $14 billion. The minister pointed out that Sri Lanka missed an opportunity to avoid the debt trap by not implementing the Fiscal Management Responsibility Act of 2003. The Isuru Park, a 60-acre urban oasis in Colombo, is set to host the first WLI Asia Oceania Conference from June 16 to June 22, 2024. The conference begins on the June 17th with an opening session at Vodisage, followed by a fishing cat and nocturnal observation at the Isuru Park. This event will bring together over 100 delegates from more than 70 wetland centres across Asia, Australia and New Zealand, highlighting the park's significance in urban wetland conservation and ecotourism. The event also marks the 10th anniversary of the Isuru Park with day-long celebrations and a hosted dinner. The event will feature a fishing cat and nocturnal observation session conducted by the Urban Fishing Cat Conservation Project, bird watching sessions and a firefly observation at the Maadiwella Battlefield. Over the next few days, delegates will participate in bird watching sessions, learning sessions and excursions to other wetlands like Talangama Tank and Beddegana Wetland Park. The final day of the conference features the Seetawaka Odyssey, a scenic train journey from Colombo Fort to Seetawaka Botanical Garden. Originally a paddy field, the Isuru Park was transformed into a wetland in the late 1970s and further developed in 2010 by the Sri Lankan government. Today, it serves as a sanctuary for diverse wetland habitats and a crucial flood detention area, protecting the surrounding regions, including the Parliament area. Stay tuned. We will return after the short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. People's Freedom Congress parliamentarian Professor J.L. Peris yesterday raised significant concerns regarding the proposed extension of Attorney General Sanjay Rajaratnam's tenure by 6 months. Speaking at a press conference on Monday, Professor Peris highlighted that such an extension has not been witnessed in Sri Lanka's history.
Now, for the first time, an attempt is being made to depart from that practice and to extend the tenure of office of the current Attorney General, Mr. Sanjay Rajaratnam, President's Counsel, by a period of 6 months. Fundamentally obnoxious and unacceptable. Why? Because the doubt will naturally arise in the public mind whether, in that situation, he should have retired. He is not retiring. Thanks to the powers that be, he owes his extension to the political preferment of the government in power. There is consequently a sense of obligation. He knows that he is there. He knows that he is performing this vast array of functions with far-reaching consequences. He knows that he is empowered, that he is exercising all these functions, powers and responsibilities thanks to the current president who, out of his own goodwill and largesse, is conferring this invidious advantage on this particular Attorney General. No other. Nobody else has had this privilege. So he is being singled out for favoured treatment.
Speaking further, the dissident parliamentarian, Professor Pires, stressed that allowing such an extension amidst ongoing election campaigns could potentially disrupt the integrity of the electoral process. He pointed out that the government's arguments which cite the necessity of Rajaratnam's involvement in investigations related to the stay attack, the Express Pearl incident and IMF negotiations are baseless.
Now, what are the specious, the totally hollow and fictitious reasons which are being given to justify this extraordinary endeavor, flying in the face of the practice over many succeeding decades? Let's take the alleged justifications one by one. The first was that the continued tenure of office by Mr. Rajaratnam will facilitate investigations into the Easter Sunday situation, which occurred in 2019. The second is the Express Pearl disaster. Now, that occurred on the 20th of May 2021. It is now amazingly suggested that Mr. Rajaratnam continuing in office is somehow necessary to secure the fullest benefits from the proceedings that are currently in progress with regard to this matter. Then the next reason given is that the continuing tenure of Mr. Rajaratnam is essential for the purpose of the continuing negotiations with the International Monetary Fund. I regard this as a grievous insult to every officer in the Attorney General's department. I have taught many of them. They have been my students in the Faculty of Law of the university. Some have gone up from there to the judiciary. They are honorable people, they are competent people. This is to denigrate all of them with one broad brush stroke. Nobody is competent. Nobody in the Attorney General's department is competent to handle the Express Pearl negotiations, the IMF negotiations. It's got to be Mr. Rajaratnam and no other.
Ritsbury announced that it is set to serve as the exclusive sponsor for the prestigious Ritsbury Sir John Talbot Athletic Championship 2024 for the 12th consecutive year. This event is set to bring together over 20,000 participants from nearly 1,000 schools, reinforcing Ritsbury's commitment to nurturing young athletic talent. The commencement of the 2024 championship was announced at a press conference held at a hotel in Colombo on Monday. The 53rd Ritsbury Sir John Talbot Junior Athletic Championship will feature categories for under 11, under 12, under 13, under 14 and under 15. This year, 2 new meets in Jaffna and Batticaloa have been added to increase opportunities for young athletes at a regional level. The Junior Championship will kick off in the Northern Province and Anuradhapura District at Jaffna's Durayappa Stadium on June 13th and 14th. The Ritsbury Relay Carnival is scheduled from July 2nd to 4th at Badulu's Vincent Dyer Stadium, following last year's success which saw over 6,000 participants. The 92nd edition of the Sir John Talbot Senior Athletic Championship will take place from September 10th to 13th at Sugatadasa Stadium, featuring age groups from under 16, 18 and 20. The overall winners of both the junior and senior championships will receive awards, with the top 15 athletes earning scholarships for further sports development. Stay tuned for stock update. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on negative notes today.
The all share price index dropped 4.13 points to close at 12,390.86, and the S&P SL 20 dropped 1.68 points to close at 3,686.31. The turnover was 1.6 billion rupees and over 65 million shares were traded.
Up next are forex rates. That's all our news for today. For this and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. Take care and good night.